Blog Talk Radio.
Thank you for
Peace, family. Peace, family. This is your brother, 2020, and you are tuned in to Real Talk for Real People. Now, this is the first interview of the groundbreaking of the Universal Hip Hop Museum, and we're going to be speaking with my brother Paradise Gray, and he's going to give us some information and talk to us about this monumental event that just happened May the 20th of this year. So as soon as my brother is on here, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. You there, my brother?
Huh?
Peace, brother.
Can y'all hear me? 1 2 1 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my brother, and let them know what you're calling, what we're talking about today.
Hey, yo, peace, y'all. It's your Uncle Paradise from the incredible X-Clan, the chief curator of the Universal Hip Hop Museum, at your service. What it do?
What it do, what it do. Peace, my brother. Well, yeah, you had the groundbreaking. You had the groundbreaking on May the 20th. I want you to talk about that with the people, and let them know what we got, what you got in store for the museum and everything that's going to be going along with that.
Okay. Well, we did the groundbreaking at the Bronx Terminal Market. The project is called the Bronx Point. You can Google that, Bronx Point, Universal Hip Hop Museum. We're building 500 affordable condo housing with ownership for low-income black and brown people. The facility is being built by black and brown construction workers and is right on the edge of the Harlem River from the Bronx side, looking right across to Harlem. And 2.5 acres of a community park that will be built there that's accessible to the public and the community. And we're going to develop the whole entire waterfront and create an incredible living, commercial, and universal hip-hop experience for residents of the Bronx and everybody that come to visit.
Man,
the groundbreaking was the 20th, and we should be done building in 2024, right on time for the 50th anniversary of hip-hop,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man,
2023, late 2023, man. Early 2024,
Okay. And speaking of that, you said, the 50th anniversary, 40 plus years of hip-hop culture, hip-hop music, hip-hop influence all over the world. Why don't you talk a little bit about that? I want you to go ahead on and let the people know, because I really don't think they understand how important you are as an elder to hip-hop. So I want you to go ahead on and just go over some things, in our history to just make them aware. Make them aware.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But due to the way that so-called leaders in our community use the power that the people give to them, I don't really like, to be put on a pedestal. The only reason I look tall is because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I had great elders, great people who poured knowledge, wisdom, and understanding into me from a young age. And I owe everything that I know to them. And all the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that I have learned does not belong to me. It belongs to our people, and it's my duty to pass that knowledge from the ancestors that the elders passed on to me to translate it and pass it down to a new generation, because that power, that knowledge, that wisdom, that understanding, it belongs to us all. It's a collective creative consciousness of our DNA and our melanin that powers me. So
Great point.
I was very fortunate that, my mom, I was born in a little town in North Carolina named Washington, North Carolina. And, we lived on a dirt road. we didn't have any electricity. We lit our house by candlelight. We had we had a wood burning stove, and we had no running water inside. We had to pump our water in the front yard from the pump, and we had to use the bathroom in the backyard with the outhouse. You know what I'm saying? Like many people before us, that's where we come from. And we don't sweep that humble beginning under the rug. We understand that that was our foundation, and we were spiritual, God-loving people. And we carried that with us when I reached 4 years old. My mom decided that she didn't want me, my brother and sister, to grow up picking cotton and tobacco. So she had visited her sister who had moved to New York during the Great Migration too. So she followed behind her sister, and we jumped on the Greyhound bus when I was 4 years old, and we headed for the bright lights in the big city, And while we were on the bus, we found out that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had been murdered. And when we got off the bus in Harlem, New York was on fire, So my baptism into New York was baptism by fire. And baptism my mom thought, fire, oh, my God. I took my kids out the pan and put them in the fire. But, it was too many of us. It was me, my brother, my sister, and my mom, and we had left my dad behind so that we could go stay with relatives and she could get a job, and then he could come later. So my mom stayed in Harlem with her sister, Helen, and me, my brother, and my sister, we stayed in the Bronxdale projects in the Bronx with my cousin Susie and her 3 children, Jimmy, Aaron, and Keisha. And it was me, my brother Michael, and my sister Chioma. And it was 6 kids in one room. We didn't have much, but we had each other. And with the incredible luck and magnetism that my mother had, some reason she always put me in the right place at the right time. And the building that I lived in was a DJ named Disco King Mario. And Mario was a DJ that played hip-hop, and every DJ from New York that played hip-hop, if you was a DJ before 1982, 1983, then you started out as a disco DJ. You know what I'm saying? The disco DJs were the ones that had the equipment and the money, and they were older than us. But we learned hip-hop, DJing, the whole platform. The foundation of that was 3 DJs in New York. One named Pete DJ Jones, one named Grandmaster Flowers, and Disco King Mario. And they're not in any chronological order that I just spoke their names, but they are the original trinity of hip-hop before Hurt, Bam, and Flash. You know what I'm saying? Pete DJ Jones, Curtis Blow, Lovebug Starsky, Hollywood, and Grandmaster Flash. And Grandmaster Flowers was from Brooklyn. He's the first Grandmaster of hip-hop, bar none. You know what I'm saying? Google Grandmaster Flowers. You can even find a clip of him DJing on YouTube right now. You know, so those foundation DJs gave me my foundation in New York. And while I lived in the Bronxdale projects, I was a little fighter that I had to defend my little cousins. So they used to call me, my cousin Jimmy and Aaron, Baby Spades, because the Black Spades, the original gang that was at the foundation of hip-hop, also at the foundation of the Zulu Nation, they were from the Bronxdale projects where we lived, you know. And just to give you a little background on Disco King Mario, his first MC was Busy B, and his left and right hand DJs that he was mentoring was Jazzy J and Red Alert before they were down with Bam. You know,
so these are the
that's my
that
foundation
you're talking about
originally. Huh?
Yeah, these are the shoulders. Yeah, these are the shoulders that you're talking about. You standing on right now. See, this is that background I wanted the people to be able to get, because you know a lot of people have a tendency to think that you know hip hop is just about the music and it's just about you know the stuff that they see on TV, but it's a whole culture and it's a whole story and the movement behind it. So yeah, I'm glad you touched on that. I really am. Now,
yes, sir.
with the way that you set the museum up, now I seen the groundbreaking. Hip Hop DX had the story. They put the story out, and it was a picture of some of the people that were there at the groundbreaking. Why don't you talk about some of those people that had showed up at the groundbreaking, and if they said anything to you, what was their comments and things of that nature?
Well, there was too many pioneers, legends, and hip-hop artists there to remember all of their names, but I love you all dearly, and I thank you all for the inspiration, the creativity, the music, the culture, and everything y'all added to my life. Some of those in attendance was LL Cool J, Nas, Fat Joe, Slick Rick, Grandmaster Flash, Easy AD from the Cold Crush, Scorpio from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, Rod Digger, Vinny from Naughty by Nature, oh my God, PMD from EPMD, Debbie D, Lisa Lee, Sha Rock, the Us Girls in Wild Style, you know what I'm saying? The original female bangers was there. My girl Rod Digger, one of the dopest MCs of all time. I did not say one of the dopest female MCs of all time. I said Rod Digger is one of the dopest MCs of all time, bar none. You know, holla at your boy if you got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that.
Oh, a lot of the original B-boys that were B-boys for Herc was there. You know, the famous twins were there, you know what I'm saying? People who represented hip-hop from Harlem, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. My man Stevie D from the Force MCs and the Force MDs was there. You know what I mean? Right. My man Grand Groove, Catch the Groove was there. You know, T-Ski's Alley in the house. Busy B. Starsky was in the house. You know what I'm saying? It was just madness, man. I saw people there who had not been in the same room for 40, 50 years in attendance. You know, original B-boy Trixie was in the house, the first B-boy. Wow. You know what I'm saying? My man Grand Mixer DXP, who won the first hip-hop Grammy with Herbie Hancock.
Yes, he did. Yes,
was in the house. You know what I'm saying? Big up to my elder, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the dopest mental, intelligent brothers that hip-hop has ever seen. You know what I'm saying? It was just ridiculous, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just so proud to be there, you know, to witness, you know, somebody like Fat Joe to be able to represent in his neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, a museum that allows us to tell our own story from our own voices. In fact, I grew up in the, when I moved from the Bronxdale projects, I moved to a community named High Bridge, which is only 12 blocks from where we're building the hip-hop museum at. You know, so I started my collection in 1978, and when I was like 14 years old. And it's amazing for me to be able to return to my old community and bring back all the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and all the hip-hop memorabilia and everything that I had amassed and collected over all those years. So it's like 360 for me to bring those things back to the hood and to be able to use them to bridge gaps between races, religions, and different people with different ages, and to bring it all together and connect it and build bridges. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because this is a worldwide culture now, and just the fact that you were able to, like you said, bring that back full circle to the place where you came from. Now, just to segue off of what you were just saying about Fat Joe, now this is the significance of it to me. You know, this is a living museum because
yes, sir,
music is still here. So this is a living testament to all of the pioneers, all of the people that took the bumps and the bruises for the ones that are right now available to the masses to be able to express this art form, you know. And that has to absolutely mean something to a lot of those brothers because they probably never thought in a million years that this will go all the way around the world. I remember them saying that hip-hop wouldn't last 5 years. I remember them saying
Duke?
that.
Remember
Yeah.
Rapping Duke? The hard, whoever thought that hip-hop would take it this far.
Take it this far.
You know,
Yeah,
big up to Biggie and Tupac and all the other greats like Scott LaRock and Jam Master Jay who didn't live to see this day. You know, big up to Nipsey Hussle. You know, big up to every artist who ever picked up the mic, picked up a pen, picked up a spray can. Everybody who contributed blood, sweat, and tears to the music and culture of hip-hop. People who practice the fifth element, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And we, you know, we're not done yet. We're still building new elements to hip-hop. Business is an element of hip-hop. You know, Andy Warhol said there is no art like the art of business. And who practices that better than hip-hop artists? You know, just understand, if you want to see what the weaponization of music and entertainment has done to our community, all you have to do is look at the indictment on YouTube called Behind the Music. You know what I mean? If you look at those episodes and see what was done to our elders and ancestors, even the greatest amongst us, James Brown and George Clinton and Sly and the Family Stone and the Ohio Players, all of them, the Isley Brothers, the Manhattan Stylistic, Delphonics, Jackson 5, every artist that has ever been coming from our community that we worship for their greatness and their creativity has been ripped off in one form or the other by the entertainment business. And hip-hop is no exception to that rule. You know what I'm saying? You know, hip-hop was able to be stolen and borrowed and bought and sold by people who sold it for nickels and dimes, because a lot of the same elders and ancestors in the music industry who was ripped off and everything, they did not believe in us. They said that we was a fad, that we would never last. You know what I'm saying? And we proved them all wrong. 50 years later, we still here. We still out here.
Still here.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a testament. And as an elder in hip-hop and in life, I look greatly toward the future of hip-hop. I think hip-hop is in great hands with the new generation of people. I'm not a person that look down at the teenagers. Hip-hop is teenage music. Yeah, unfortunately, it has been weaponized by the rap industrial complex, and it's owned by the same people who own the prison industrial complex. So they want to catch you coming and going, make money off you, big you up, make you into a thug, because they want our community to emulate that. And they want us to be thugs and drug dealers and shooters. And they don't want us to get credit for being good men. They don't want us to get credit for raising sons. They want us to be ignorant and raise and blaze guns. You know what I'm saying? But no matter what they put on us, the culture will still shine through, because we have our glorious queens and our glorious kings that are still out there making incredible, intelligent music. But they're just overlooked. But that's okay. Hip-hop is teenage music at the core. You know, we made it. We was young. We couldn't even get in the clubs. We wasn't worried about no radio play. We didn't care what nobody grandfather thought of what we said or did. You know, we did our thing. We took what we had and we made what we wanted out of it. And I encourage young people to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And when somebody tells you you can't do something, don't listen to them. You know what I'm saying? You do what you got to do. Make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? And I encourage y'all to stay creative and to stay doing your thing, and don't let nobody discourage you. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. You do it. Young people now, you're better than we were. They can front and fake like we was the greatest, but if our children and our grandchildren are not better than us, then we're a waste of air that we breathe, because that only means that we didn't teach y'all nothing. So I'm not mad at y'all for not knowing what we did not teach y'all. And I apologize to y'all for so-called old heads and OGs that did not work in your best interest.
Y'all heard it here first. Y'all heard it here first, you know, and that means a lot to me, and that means a lot to all of the people, you know, that have sacrificed to try and make this culture of hip-hop what it is today. This is for you.
Yes.
All the people that's listening right now, all the people that love hip-hop right now, this museum is for you. You need to
That's
make
right.
try to make some time to get online, check some things out. Go to the YouTube page, Universal Hip Hop Museum.
Universal
all you
Hip
got
Hop
to do is
Museum,
look
baby.
it up and look it up. This is for you. This is for the people. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
and also
very excited about this. I'm so glad.
Yeah. Yeah, so you
Yes,
can
sir.
visit us at
Yes, sir.
UHHM.org. And although we broke ground for the main museum, it won't be done till 2023, 2024. We do have a location right across the street in the Bronx Terminal Market called the Revolution of Hip Hop. And right now we're featuring hip hop from 1980 to 1985 from now till December. And I encourage everybody who finds themselves in the New York tri-state area to go and visit the Revolution of Hip Hop and see one of the most amazing exhibits of hip hop history and memorabilia ever assembled. And I would also like to thank people like Grandmaster Kaz and Grandmaster Melly Mel and a lot of the other pioneers who maybe you're not seeing their names a lot, but this museum was created on the back of all pioneers and legends. And this is a hip-hop museum for all pioneers and legends. We ain't gangbanging with this. This is your museum. Hip-hop is participatory. And if you do not see yourself reflected, you don't see your crew, you don't see information about you, then give it to us. Hook us up with the photos. We who are in hip-hop, holler at us. We want to know all stories in hip-hop. We have the Universal Hip-Hop Museum. We're not just going to tell stories about rap music or hip-hop from the Bronx or from New York. No, we're going to encourage people from the South and tell their stories and show their photos. They have an amazing history also, and we're interested in those stories. They're important. Y'all contributed to this culture greatly, and we love y'all too. I know it's hard to find that love, but y'all looking for love in all the wrong places. The Universal Hip Hop Museum loves hip-hop from Germany, from Africa, from Haiti, from Brazil, from Europe, you know what I'm saying, from Canada, from L.A., from Oakland, Chicago, Detroit, Indiana. We appreciate and understand all of your contributions. And there is a Kool Herc and a Grandmaster Flash and a Coke LaRock and a Curtis Blow in every city. And we want to know those stories because they are important and they're all connected. Hip-hop is ours.
Sir, yes, sir, and it's global, as you just heard. It is absolutely global now. 2021, we are all over the world now. If we could go to other planets, we'll be there too. But we gonna be there here soon. Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Intergalactic.
That's right. Hip-hop is higher infinite power, healing our people.
Healing
I
our
repeat,
people. Yes,
higher
indeed.
infinite power, healing our people. And big shout out to my man, Minister Server in the ATL, my brother from another mother, my other hip-hop grandpop. Hip-hop grandpops to the world, stand up. You know, if you're a hip-hop grandpop, send a shout-out to my man. I don't know how they send you a shout-out, but shout-out to all hip-hop grandpops and everybody that's in our community that's putting on their grown man pants now. You know, we need to be grown up about this because our children is in the streets dying, and we don't know why. At least people act like they don't know why, but we know why. It's the conditions that our young people are living every day where they live at. And we want to change that. We have to change the conditions that they're living under. If Black Lives Matter, how are we going to say that to young people when their lives don't matter? When nobody cares what couch they slept on last night. Nobody cares what clothes they wear, what holes they got in their shoes. You know, nobody care how they can afford to groom themselves. You know, nobody care about if their belly is full or not. You know what I'm saying? And we have to care about that. And we have to learn how to provide for that. You know, no one on this planet should be hungry or homeless or lonely or get no attention to their mental issues that run rampant in not just our community, but in all communities. You know, we need to really understand that our health is our wealth and be able to really deal with that. and be compassionate toward each other, you know, because we never know what we're going through or what we have gone through. You never know how a person has been abused or molested by the same people that's supposed to care about them the most. You know, young people have to know unequivocally that we love you. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're a Crip, a Blood, a Cuz, a Folk, you know, whether you Black Stone, whatever you are, I love you. And I keep saying that over and over with all my heart, you mine. You know, whether you're a thug, whether you sell drugs, you mine. And you do not have permission to shed our royal blood of our children, and you do not have permission to bleed out yourself because of some dummy that done put a bullet in you. Never that.
Yeah, we trying to live for that. You know what I'm saying? It's all about life.
I'm going to throw a shout out to my brethren, the God Kufu L. You know what I'm saying? You know, that rep me fullest, and I rep him to the fullest, and I appreciate him linking me up with y'all gods there, and just understand the importance of the work that's being done right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, we have to give hope to ourselves. You know, instead of just selling dope to ourselves, we have to give hope to ourselves and stand up, Black man, stand up, Black woman, stand up no matter what the color of your skin is. It's time to stand up and save our children. Our children should not have to grow up under the conditions that they face in this country or in these communities.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, Black man. All right. Well, I really, really appreciate, you know what I'm saying, this time that you gave me. We got about little under 2 minutes left in the episode. Go ahead on it. Give them any type of links that you need to give them, you know, any type of information that you want to give them as far as how to get in touch with you and how to get in touch with the Hip Hop Museum and everything else, just like you did earlier, you know. Go ahead on and do that for me, Black man.
Definitely, thank you. I want everybody to, first of all, to understand that this is our house, and no matter how much other people, corporations, or whatever invest in it, we need to invest in ourselves also. So if you got 5 on it, you got 50 on it, or you got 500,000, you hit us up at UHHM.org and donate, because we're going to need all the dollars we can get, because we're not just building this museum, but we're going to have to maintain it also. And we're not building a museum for 2024. We're building a museum for 3024 and beyond. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to need all the help we could get. So if you got 5 on it, we appreciate it. Even if you don't, if you just want to holler at us on UHHM.org. You know, hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Paradise Gray. That's Gray with an A. You can holler at me on Facebook, Curator Paradise Gray. You know what I'm saying? And let's keep it moving. You know, let's show the best part of what we are to the world, not just the bottom of the gutter. That's not just who we are. We're not just hustlers, players, pimps, hoes, and all those other lowly things. You know what I'm saying? We're kings. We're gods. We're the foundation of the people on this planet. And let's come together in unity and stand up and show, like James Brown said, let's show our good foot. Let's get on the good foot. You know, let's rewind it to the godfather of hip-hop. And let's practice compassion and love instead of anger and hate toward each other, so that we could build a better future. I thank my man Rocky Bucano and all of the other staff at the Universal Hip Hop Museum for their hard work, their blood, sweat, and tears. But at the end of the day, even though this will be successful, it's only one building. We need to build a nation. We need to build a real Wakanda and stop being woke kinda.
All right. Well, Paradise Gray, thank you very much, brother. And you have been tuned in to Clear Vision, real talk for real people. My brother Paradise Gray. You have a good one, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.